Okay guys, just a quick update regarding your Romeo and Juliet project, just to answer some questions some of you guys have had. First things first, I want to make sure that you have everything else done before you start the Romeo and Juliet project. So do not start the project unless you have finished your test and you have turned in Acts 3, 4, and 5 comprehension questions. Those 4 things are the only things that you've had that need to be turned in to me in the past 2 weeks, okay? That's it as far as assignments and tests goes. So that's all that you should have completed, and once those are all in, then you can start working on the Romeo and Juliet project. So once again, Acts 3, 4, and 5 comprehension questions and the Romeo and Juliet test. Those 4 things need to be your top priority before you move on to the Romeo and Juliet project. When and only when you have those 4 things done and turned in, you finish the play, you know you understand it, you're ready to move on to analysis, then you can start working on the Romeo and Juliet project. Okay, so part 1, what you are doing is just explaining to me who you think is guilty for the death of Romeo and Juliet, okay? So there's lots of speculation, lots of different options that you can choose for who you want to blame. You might blame the nurse, you might blame Friar Lawrence, you might blame the feud between the families and the parents, you might blame Romeo and Juliet themselves. It's up to you who you choose to blame, who you think, based on your understanding of the play, is responsible for the deaths of Romeo and Juliet. There's no right or wrong answer here, okay? This is purely opinion-based, based on how you understand the play. However, it is a type of literary analysis, so you have to have evidence to back it up. So with this first part of the project, what we're asking you to do is pick who you think is responsible and explain why using evidence from the play, okay? So if I was to say that Friar John is responsible for the death of Romeo and Juliet because he never got the letter to Romeo that explains that Juliet wasn't actually dead, I would find the parts in Act 5, Scene 2, where Friar John talks to Friar Lawrence and explains everything about how he wasn't able to get the letter to Romeo, and I would use those specific lines when he talks in Act 5, Scene 2, to back it up, okay? So I would write in my paper, the person responsible for the death of Romeo and Juliet is Friar John, because he never told Romeo that Juliet wasn't actually dead. He never told Friar Lawrence that Romeo didn't get this information until it was too late, and he didn't try to do anything to help them, okay? Maybe those are my 3 reasons why I think Friar John is responsible. Then I'm going to find evidence for each of those 3 reasons. So one piece of evidence would be, in Act 5, Scene 2, he comes up to Friar Lawrence and explains to him that he never got the letter because he was being held in quarantine because he was, perceived as maybe having the plague or a certain sickness that was going around at the time. And this prevented him from getting the information to Romeo, but this was maybe a preventable thing, so therefore Friar John is still responsible. So that'd be maybe my argument if I was trying to argue why I thought Friar John was responsible for the death of Romeo and Juliet. Okay, so you can do this via a video format. You might record yourself kind of justifying who you think is responsible and why you think they're responsible. You can write a paper about it. You can make a TikTok if you want to. You probably can't make a TikTok because it has to be at least 3 minutes long. You could try. You can write like a lawyer's kind of, like a plea that you would give to a courtroom, or you could set it up like a courtroom conviction. You could do like an interview style thing explaining why you think someone's guilty. There's lots of options that you have, and you can email me with any questions. I just wanted to briefly kind of explain what I'm looking for. So at the end of the day, you're just showing me that you know how to analyze a text and make a claim about it. So you are showing me that you can read Romeo and Juliet, accuse someone of being responsible for the deaths of Romeo and Juliet, whoever it is, doesn't matter who it is, it's whatever your opinion is, and you're able to back that opinion up with actual evidence from the play. So that evidence is the act, the scene, and the specific lines in which you think that this person demonstrated that they are responsible for the deaths of Romeo and Juliet. So 3 pieces of evidence. You are accusing someone of Romeo and Juliet's death, and you are explaining that to me either through a paper, through a video, through whatever kind of format you want to. The kind of expectations are listed in the assignment sheet, but that's all you're doing. So if you have any questions, if you need more clarification, please just shoot me an email, but that's basically the expectation. Once again, if you're doing a paper, it has to be, no matter what kind of paper it is, even if it's just a straightforward essay, if it's trying to be like a subpoena, whatever it is, it needs to be at least 2 pages long, and if you are making a video of yourself talking and explaining it, it has to be at least 3 minutes. So this video is already at 5 minutes long, so 3 minutes isn't crazy hard to reach. You can totally do that. If you have any further questions, once again, just let me know. Just wanted to give you guys a brief update about what I'm expecting, And once again, make sure you get the past 4 assignments in before you start your Romeo and Juliet project. Romeo and Juliet project's not due till April 13th. You have plenty of time to kind of manage your time and make sure you get everything done, but you need to make sure that you have the comprehension questions for Acts 3, 4, and 5 and the test done before you start this project, or else you're going to be kind of overwhelmed with work. So get all that done. Then when you feel ready, you feel confident in what you're doing, start the project, okay? This is part 1. I will post part 2 tomorrow, which is Tuesday, part 3 Wednesday, part 4 Thursday. So by the end of this, you'll have a 4-part project turned in by April 13th. That's all we're doing the next 2 weeks, okay? Hopefully that helps clarify some stuff for you guys. And if you have any further questions, please just let me know. And happy Monday.